Good morning, Laguna. Hey guys, it's time to wake up. And if you're listening, I'm guessing that you are woke up or you have woken up. But it's great to be here with you. It's Rick Jorgensen here on Wake Up Laguna. This is my second show, my second week. I'm super excited to be here. I had so much fun on my first show and looking forward to this one as well. It's great to be here on a lovely, beautiful Wednesday morning here in Laguna Beach. It's still not quite light outside. It's getting lighter by the minute. It's a little chilly, but that's okay. A little overcast, but it'll be sunny later on. We'll check in my second hour with Dave Murray and see what the weather's going to be like for today and the rest of the week. I've got a great show planned for you today. We're going to be talking about a number of things, one of which is the power of manifestation in your life and how manifestation takes place in your life and how you can get a better grip on manifestation, because whether you know it or not, you are manifesting pretty much every moment of the day, whether you like it or not. And it's all driven by your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and what's happening in any given moment. But you are truly manifesting your reality. And we'll talk a little bit about how you can better get a grip on that, if you will. How you can really shape that into a much more desirable life for yourself, and so we'll talk about that. And I've got a great guest coming up today. Super excited about this particular guest. This young woman is Laguna Beach local. Grew up here in Laguna Beach. Her name is Frances Naude. She is a Reiki master, tarot card reader, amongst many other things. And she's going to be with us today to talk about manifestation and probably some other things as well. So she'll be here at the right at the top of the 8 o'clock hour, or actually a couple minutes here or there after 8 o'clock. We'll get Frances in and on the air. So super excited about having Frances here. A couple of things I've got going on that I want to let you guys know about. I've got a webinar that I'll be hosting today at 11 o'clock Pacific and at 7 p.m. this evening as well. And this is called Awaken Your True Self. And I'm excited about it. I think it is going to bring a lot of value to those that view it. And it really is talking about the steps in your spiritual path and kind of where you are in that path, and some of the things that you can do to remove obstacles to your spiritual growth, to further awaken on your journey. So I've got that. You can check that out if you go. You can actually go to my show page at kxfmradio.org. Just click on my show page, Wake Up Laguna. You'll see a link there for resources. That'll take you to my website. You'll see upcoming webinars there, and you can get all the information there for the webinar. So check that out. And so that's what's happening. That's what's going to be happening today. So what I usually like to do is get us going with a little bit of a kind of a grounding meditation. It's a heart meditation. Really kind of gets us settled in for the day. Really sets the tone for the day. I start out every morning with a couple of things. One, I sit down and I write in my journal. And what I write in my journal is three things. One, what I'm grateful for. Two, what I'm wanting from Source, from universe, from God, from our higher power, So I kind of list out my wants, my desires, and then finally I do a round of, I won't call it prayers, but I'm going to call it putting out healing energy and love to certain individuals that I know are in need, and also certain places. For instance, the people that have been affected by Hurricane Helene and Milton, putting that healing energy and love out there to those folks for what they're going through. So that's a great way for me, at least, to start my day, and actually writing down, because you can express your gratitude. You can do that anytime during the course of the day, but a lot of people will do it in the morning. Some people do it last thing in the evening before they go to bed, express gratitude. I like to write it down. I think the act of writing, I think, gives it all so much more power than just kind of thinking it or even speaking it aloud. So I do that, and then usually I'll do a 5-10 minute meditation at that point, just to kind of ground myself, set the tone for the rest of the day, really get myself into a great headspace. So I will meditate almost always every single morning. And in many cases, I'll do it maybe in the middle of the day. It's kind of a nice little break in the middle of the day where I will, I'll actually carve out some time on my calendar to do that. And I'll do, 15 minutes in the middle of the day. And it's just so refreshing to be able to meditate in that time block. And then, of course, at the end of the day, it's always a nice way to kind of wrap your day up with a little meditation as well. So let's kind of jump right into this. Let's do this. This could be kind of not quite 5 minutes, but what I want you to do is just number one, make sure you're in a safe place. Meaning, if you're in your car, you don't want to necessarily get into all of this. Listen to it, because you're going to get a lot from it, but you certainly can't close your eyes. And don't close your eyes while you're driving your car. But if you really feel the need, pull over to the side of the road, put your car in park, and listen to this. But if you're at home, just kind of get into a comfortable position, whether that's a seated position, or even if you're laying down. So let's kind of just jump right into this. Yeah, so what you want to do is, like I said, find a comfortable position, and then adjust your posture to bring a little more comfort in, right? Set the spine upright and relaxed. Now take a few nice deep breaths into the abdomen, filling up the belly, and exhaling slowly. Take a deep breath in through the nostrils, and as you breathe out, let your eyes gently close or just gaze softly in front of you. I want you to arrive fully into this moment. Let go of thoughts or stories as we return back into the body. Feel into the soles of your feet or wherever your body makes contact with your seat. Notice any sensations, any vibration, pressure, any tingling in your body. Feel a sense of support from the ground or the seat beneath you. Now shift your attention to your thighs and feel gravity pulling you down slightly. You may remember that you're supported and safe in this moment. Now bring awareness to your shoulders. Allow a sense of relaxation and softness throughout your body. Bring your attention to the space between your eyes and the muscles of the face and jaw, just allowing them some kindness now. Allow them to relax. Listen into the space around your heart. Listen deeper into the space of the heart. Ask yourself, what am I needing most? See what arises. Perhaps it's a sense of calm or balance, or maybe it's growth or strength or self-trust. Perhaps it's a sense of connection. Maybe it's love. Whatever it is, allow that intention to grow in strength. Allow that intention to fill up the space of the heart. Like a golden light, let it fill up the space of the chest. Allow that intention to find what you're most needing right now to fill up your body. Let your intention spill out beyond you, and in the next moment, offer yourself some compassion. Compassion for the challenges that you faced and continue to face. Offer yourself a sense of ease, a sense of nurturing. See whether you can begin to treat yourself like you would treat a child or close friend who's going through a difficult moment. And in any difficult moment, asking yourself, can I simply be kind to myself right now? Even in this moment of uncertainty, pain, or discomfort, even in this moment of fear. Now let go of that intention. Come back into the body, into the environment, feeling supported by your feet on the floor or your thighs on the chair. Offer some gratitude to your body, sitting here, breathing, and gratitude for the community that is sitting here together, just breathing, just being with a sense of connection. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and bring some movement back into your shoulders, your fingers, your hands, if that feels right. Whew. That was so good. Really enjoy that first thing in the morning, just getting that sense and that feeling of grounding, of being within, of really focusing on your heart space, really grounding yourself. And I find that it really does just set the tone for the day, no matter what's going on or what will be going on in your day. Because like I talked about last week, remember, truly what we have, all that we have is within the present moment. And within that present moment, in almost every case, everything's okay within the present moment. And if you find yourself struggling sometimes to get rid of the thoughts in your head, especially when you're ready to meditate and your mind's racing and you're trying to quiet your mind, a good trick to use is just pretend that you have no past and pretend that you have no future. You have no past, you have no future. What does your mind do with that? It can't do anything with it. It's like, wow, I guess we just have now. So that's a really good way to kind of settle your mind and put yourself in the right space in your head and in your heart to focus on the now moment. Let's talk a little bit about topic today, which is the power of manifestation. There is a book, and it's on my resource list, which is on my website, and it's also and you'll find that link on my show page on kxfmradio.org. But this is a book that was one of the first books that I read in my spiritual journey, probably 20 years ago. It's been now since I first read this book. And it's a book called Ask and It Is Given, Learning to Manifest Your Desires, by Esther Hicks and Jerry Hicks. Esther is a world-renowned channeler. She channels spiritual group of spiritual beings called Abraham. And you may be familiar with Abraham. Truly one of my motivations and inspirations I listen to Abraham probably, at least 3 or 4 times a week. Always on my list of videos to watch on YouTube. Ask and It Is Given is just such a fantastic resource to have. I thoroughly recommend it, and I recommend that if you don't have a copy and if you haven't read it already, that you pick it up. You can get it at your favorite bookstore. But yeah, pick it up and read it. And it's one of those books that you could read over and over and over again without question, over and over and over again, which I love. So a couple of things from Ask and It Is Given. I pulled a couple of quotes from the book that I really find very powerful. So I'm going to read a couple to you here. The better you feel, the more you're allowing your connection to your source. The better you feel, the more you're opening up, in essence, to source, to your higher power, to the universe, to God. Right? The better you feel, not the worse you feel, not when you feel like crap, but the better you feel. Second, you get what you think about, whether you want it or not. Now, a lot of folks don't particularly care for that, but it's absolutely true. You're going to get what you think about, whether you want it or not. So if you're thinking negative thoughts, if you're thinking, bad things are going to happen to me, more than likely that's what the universe is going to deliver to you, because the universe just simply delivers what you ask. Matter of fact, in most cases, they're in the process of delivering it before you even ask it or even think the thought, because they know. So be careful about what you think about, I think, is the message there. Your emotions are absolute indicators of your vibrational content. We haven't talked a lot about vibrational content, but we all operate on a certain frequency. Some of us lower, some of us higher. And that vibrational frequency really matches your emotions at any given time. So as you can imagine, the emotions of fear and anger and doubt, depression, anxiety, all of those emotions are going to have a very low vibrational frequency. Emotions like love, joy, those kind of emotions will always carry a much, much higher frequency. And the entire universe is responding to your vibration. And your vibration is about the way you feel. So just keep that kind of as a point of focus when you're, when those thoughts creep in, the fear, the anxiety, and try to push. I'll tell you a really good way to manifest, I think, positivity in your life and manifest and put yourself in a better place and kind of stop some of those thoughts is we come back to gratitude and what you're grateful for, what you're thankful for. If you can just get yourself in the middle of those thoughts flying around in your head, if you could just pull yourself in and put yourself in a space of gratitude and think about, and it's, whether it's in your head or speaking it out loud, or as I do every morning in my journal, writing it down, write out those what you're grateful for. Write out what truly is great in your life. And that really makes a big, big difference when it comes to your vibrational level and really matching that, because your vibrational level is incredibly important when it comes to manifestation. And in many cases, if you ask for something, it will be there. It will be there, whether it's love, whether it's money, whatever it happens to be. It's always going to be sitting in I like to call it a vibrational escrow account for you. You already have all the money that you could ever want or desire sitting in a vibrational escrow account. It's just a matter of matching the frequency of that vibration to be able to release it into your life. And so vibration is incredibly important. And again, vibration and raising your frequency is as simple as getting yourself into a space of gratitude and feelings of love, feelings of joy, feelings of happiness, raises that vibration and begins to get your vibration level up. And that's what you want, right? I mean, think about it. Do you want to go throughout your day with low vibration, low frequency, and fear and anger and no, of course you don't. So I've got a real treat for you right now, and I'm going to play it for you. This is one of my spiritual teachers, mentors, David Bayer. And David has a fantastic, he just released this bit on YouTube, and it's really how to manifest. And he puts it in just such great terms. I couldn't say it any better myself, so I thought, well, let's just give the floor to David and let him really kind of tell you a lot more about it than certainly what I can. So let's just let David have the floor, and I'll catch you on the other side.
Everything you want already exists. Neville Goddard was one of the great teachers of the power of imagination, and he talked about the fourth dimension. He said there are two realities that exist simultaneously. There's this third dimensional, five senses reality that we normally refer to as our exclusive reality. It's what you and I would call our lives. And he said, but simultaneous to that, there's another reality, and he refers to it as the fourth dimension. It's the reality of imagination, the reality of potential. People refer to this as the quantum field. And it is an equivalent reality, but you can't sense it with your five senses. So most of the time we're like, who gives a shit? There's this other reality over there, but I'm not able to experience it, so who cares? Well, it's important to understand that the reality you are experiencing right now actually came from that other place called the fourth dimension. The reality that you're living right now actually started out as an idea, an imagination. You've imagined the life that you have right now. Now, sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow. You're like, but how did I imagine this, chronic health condition? How do I imagine living in this fear of financial insecurity? Did I imagine a life with a toxic relationship? Or how did I imagine a life where, it feels like I don't have enough and maybe I won't have enough in the future? And the answer is, well, you've been thinking on a moment by moment basis thoughts of fear since you were a small child. We call the root cause of those fear-based thoughts your belief systems. And when you grow up, you learn from other people how to be afraid. You learned that money was hard to make, or you learned that there wasn't enough time, or you learned that there wasn't good enough, either because you observed your parents living this way and so you modeled that from your parents, or because you grew up in an environment where there was some sort of what we would look at and call abuse. People didn't treat you well. Maybe it was a school teacher. Maybe it was your parents. Maybe it was, other kids that you were growing up around who made fun of you. And so you develop these habits of thoughts and habits of emotion that were fear-based. And your habit of thought and your habit of emotion is your habit of imagination. This is really important to understand. You're imagining all the time. Some people say to me, you don't have a really hard time, visualizing or imagining things. And it's like, no, you don't. You're imagining almost 24/7. As you're thinking your thoughts, as you're driving from point A to point B and you're on the highway and you're kind of ruminating in your head, you're imagining. When you're thinking about the business that you want to start, you're imagining. When you're thinking about not having enough clients, you're imagining not having enough clients, right? When you're thinking about how you haven't been feeling well in your body for a while and you start to wonder, am I going to feel this way always? You start to imagine feeling like this always. So you're constantly imagining. And when you're imagining, you're activating information that already exists in the quantum field or in the fourth dimension. When you're imagining, you're placing your attention on all of this potential that exists in what Neville Goddard calls the fourth dimensional space. And the longer you hold your attention on that information that exists in this imaginative realm, you turn it not into, you transform it from potential to actualization, right? It becomes not a possibility of your future, but it becomes your future. And so that's why this mindset work is so important, and this personal growth work is so important, and becoming aware of and transforming or healing or letting go of our limiting beliefs or our traumas is so important, because that's the imprint within which you're constantly placing attention in the fourth dimension. And so a lot of people go, well, if I'm constantly creating into my reality, how could that be? I'm experiencing the same reality over and over and over again. Nothing's changing. And the answer is everything's actually changing on a moment by moment basis, but it seems like it's not changing because you keep thinking the same thoughts and feeling the same emotions. I'm going to say that again because it's really, really important. Your reality is constantly changing. And it's as if there's a live stream that's coming from the fourth dimension or your imagination over time into your reality. It's constantly streaming. And you can change the stream at any point in time. You can change what your habit of thought or habit of emotion is, or what your habit of imagination is, and you'll transform your reality. You'll transform your bank account. You'll transform your relationships. You'll transform your business. I'm going to go deeper on that with you here in a second. But it seems like that's not the case. It seems like your current reality, what's already materialized, is fixed because you've had the health problem for a while and you still have the health problem. You've had the money problem for a while and you still have the money problem. You've got the business problem for a while and you still have the business problem. You've got the lack of clarity problem and you still have the lack of clarity problem. You've got the career problem and you've still got the career problem, right? But that's not because what I'm suggesting isn't true, that every single moment is a new creation. That's because you keep thinking the same thoughts and feeling the same emotions and imagining the same fear-based future. So you're creating the same undesired reality in your present moment experience. It's important to understand. What's also important to understand is that the problems you're experiencing right now aren't problems. So let's just relax around it for a second. I want you to understand what problems are designed to do in the way this system of reality or system of intelligence works. The problems that you're experiencing, anything that you don't like, right? I don't like the fact that I don't have excess at the end of the month to go out for nice dinners or fly business class or rent a private jet or buy my dream home. And instead I'm worrying about how I'm going to pay my mortgage. I don't like that. That's a problem. Well, the problem is meant to catalyze and focus your attention into what you do want. So I believe that we actually understood how this worked before we came into the physical body, that we understood the spiritual laws when we were living as spirit, and then we manifested or materialized or incarnated. And part of the process is remembering this. But what I believe is that we knew, and I certainly know that this is how it works, that we knew that we would experience problems and that those problems would help us get clear on what our desires are. Because each and every one of us has different desires. That's the beauty of having 7 or 8 billion people on the planet, is we all have different preferences. We all have different desires. Some people like to, have a desire to, create their own business and, make a massive impact on millions of people in the world. Some people want to create a boutique business. Some people don't want to have a business at all. They want to be an entrepreneur working for another organization. Some people like to climb mountains. Some people like to have an incredible cup of coffee. Some people like to sleep in and stay in bed. Some people like to wake up at 5 a.m. None of it is good or bad. But what allows us to determine what our personal preference is the experience of things that we don't like. So right now you're experiencing things that you don't like in your life right now, aren't you? Just pick one thing you don't like right now. Just pick one thing, right, that you don't prefer. You're like, I don't like that anymore. I'd like it to change. Well, the experience of that problem has helped you become aware of what you do want. So you don't like the feeling of financial insecurity. And so that's now activating this desire for financial abundance and prosperity. You don't like feeling physical pain in your body. So that's activated a desire for extraordinary health and well-being. You don't like having friction in your relationship with your husband or your wife or your partner. And so what that's activating is a desire and a focus of energy and attention towards harmony and peace and passion and compassion and empathy in your relationship. So now all of a sudden we have access to a preference. The challenge, and I've talked about this in other videos, is that because the mind, the brain, the nervous system, like the whole operating system, is designed to help us survive, our tendency, if we're not aware of how this game works, is to start paying attention to the problem and trying to get rid of the problem. So we start paying attention to our financial insecurity even more. We start paying attention to the physical discomfort in our body even more. We start paying attention to the challenges in our relationship even more. And then the mind will mentalize the emotional experience of those challenges, and it'll start showing up as like, I don't think she's ever going to change. How come he says what he says, right? Money is hard to make, right? It starts to activate this childhood past with all these belief systems. But the opportunity is for you to go up. I don't actually like this. Now I'm clear on what I want, and to start imagining and putting your attention on what you want. When you imagine and start putting your attention on what you want, rather than continuing to put your attention and imagining what you don't want, now all of a sudden you plant new seeds in that fourth dimensional space. And technically what happens is that all of creation already exists. All of creation already exists. Everything that has ever existed, that exists right now, and that will ever exist, already exists in this quantum field, this fourth dimensional space. Everything. It's all already there as potential. And so as you start to direct your attention towards it, you activate that potential in the field. You activate that energy. And so you can either be activating an energy of a future you don't want because that future exists already in the field, or you can be activating the energy of a future that you do want because that energy actually exists in the field too. And as you place your consistent and focused attention on what you desire, that attention, meaning your energy, your own consciousness, starts to activate and begins to materialize that future in the field. Now, that future will become manifest over time through thoughts and ideas that you have that you take action on. That future will become material through the coincidences and synchronicities that are created, the people that you meet, the investors that you attract, the relationship that you develop, the person that you run into, right? All of those series of cause and effects that occur in order to produce the timing of our life. We'll look back on it and we'll go, no, this is actually what happened. But what I'm saying is what happened is an effect of a root cause, which is the activation of this energy in the fourth dimension or in the field that maps or translates your desires of the vision you have to everything that already exists. In other words, that body that you want that feels really good, it already exists right here, right now in the field. That business that you want already exists right here, right now. That dream home exists right here, right now. That dream relationship, it exists right here, right now. All possibilities already exist in consciousness. And so the name of the game is to learn how to translate, because we are translators of energy into material form, how to translate that future that you desire that's been catalyzed by your experience of problems. So problems aren't really a problem. Problems are just the mechanism by which you get clear on your desires. We have an opportunity to translate that energy of your future from the field into the life that you're living right now. So again, it's important to understand, like, step one is that all of the future that you want already exists right now.
Wow, thank you for that, David. Amazing. Let's review for a minute and think about what David just shared with us. And that is that everything that you could ever possibly want, or even maybe things that you don't even know you want yet, already exists in the field, already exists out there in that fourth dimensional space. And really just discovering how to bring that into your life is really what part of the journey is all about. It's bringing that possibility that's already out there, it's already existing, and bringing that into your life in a tangible way, right? Physical way, whatever it happens to be, whether it's, a relationship that you're looking for, money, new house, whatever it happens to be. It's already out there. It's already existing. And it's just a matter of you taking the right steps to bring it into your life in a real way. I love that. I mean, I just love the power behind that, and the I think just the hope of having that possibility that exists for us at any given moment, and really just saying, okay, Rick, how do I do that? How do we bring that into our lives? How do we focus ourselves in a way that really attracts and brings that in? Because we absolutely, as David said in the beginning of that piece, we're manifesting every moment of every day. We're creating, and every single moment we're creating as we're driving in the car. It's our thoughts that are creating our reality, and whatever that happens to be is spinning itself out into our physical reality, into our life as we know it. And it's hard to let go a lot of times of negative emotions and negative thoughts and release those. But that's part of the journey. That's part of the journey, and really understanding how to do that and how to clear those roadblocks, if you will, and get those out of the way so that all of that great stuff that's existing out there for you, that's already there, will actually manifest itself in your life today or next week or next month or next year. So that's really the cool part about manifestation, and understanding really that power of manifestation and as it exists for us today. So I want to share a couple more things from the book Ask and It Is Given, Learning to Manifest Your Desires, Esther and Jerry Hicks. And again, get this book. Read this book. It's just amazing. It's got 22 processes to improve your manifesting and help you feel more happiness now. It's just got a lot of great things about it. But a couple more quotes that I want to share with you from the book. That which you resist and that which you fear, you bring into your experience. Whew, wow. Man. Let me read that again. That which you resist and that which you fear, you bring into your experience. So the contrast of that is that which you love, that which you find joy in, you bring into your experience. That which you love and that which you find joy in, you bring into your experience. It's like flipping a switch. It really is. It's like flipping a switch. Because whenever you're feeling good, you are an intentional co-creator. Whenever you're not feeling good, you're an unintentional co-creator. Either way, you're a co-creator. But wouldn't it be better to be an intentional co-creator in your life? And wouldn't it be better to not resist and bring those feelings of love and joy and gratitude into your life, because that's what's going to bring your experience at any given moment? So the most valuable skill or talent that you could ever develop is that of directing your thoughts towards what you want. Because many of us have thoughts of what we don't want, right? Yeah, I don't want to be broke. So we have those thoughts. But if we can direct our thoughts, if we could develop that skill of directing your thoughts towards what you want and stay on that, in that focus, and do so, right, with a joyful, loving heart, it's going to be delivered. It will absolutely be delivered into your life. And again, I'm taking this directly from the book. There's nothing that you cannot be, do, or have. Truly. nothing that you cannot be, do, or have. You will know your path by the fun of it. I love that. Yeah. I can't remember who, the follow your joy type thing. We all think about what our purpose is, and it's really following that joy. But that speaks it so well. Is you will know your path by the fun of it. Yeah. Does it feel good? It does, right? Yeah, it feels great. If it doesn't feel great, that's not your path. It's simple as that. And when you ask, it's always given. Now the trick is to get yourself to a place of letting it in, of allowing it. Because a lot of us will ask, a lot of us will wish, but we really don't believe it. We don't feel it. Because it's not just about having that thought. It's also really about having the feeling behind it. The feeling of wanting what you desire is more important than the thought itself. So getting yourself in that feeling space. And the more joyful you are, I keep coming back to this, but it's so true. The more joyful you are, the closer to your vibrational alignment with Source you are. We talked about vibration earlier. We talked about frequency earlier. And those emotions of fear and anger and depression and anxiety are all very low vibrational states. That's not going to attract what you want. Matter of fact, it's going to have the direct opposite effect in your life. So the more joyful you are, and that you can maintain that joy, the closer to your vibrational alignment with Source you're going to be, without question. So that's really the good news. And I think it's really good news. I really do. I think it's really, really good news. So I have got my special guest out here somewhere. There she is. Hi, Frances. So she is here. She's kind of she's in the bullpen, getting ready, getting warmed up, getting ready to come in. And I'm excited about bringing her in. So I'm going to, let's see here. I think, I think we're going to put on some really great, what I like to call high vibration music, high frequency music, just some really beautiful stuff for you to listen to as we kind of get ready and set for Frances to come in and share with us her wisdom and her thoughts and kind of how she approaches manifestation. She put out a video not too long ago about it, and it was really very, very cool. If you follow Frances, I'm sure you saw that. But yeah, so we'll get that queued up here as well. So anyway, focusing on the book Ask and It Is Given really is a great blueprint for getting what you want in life and following kind of the principles that it lays out and the advice that it gives, the processes that it gives, really does put you on that right path to get there. And I think that's just so important. And we talk about, not resisting, and the contrast of not resisting is really it's the art of allowing. And one of the things that the book says about that is the art of allowing is the process of deliberately choosing the subjects that allow your connection to the stream. So deliberately choosing the subjects. Deliberately choosing. because you have the choice. You have the choice. You really do, to choose what you listen to, choose what you watch. I quite a while ago actually turned off TV news. And it's not that I'm not aware of what's going on in the world around me. I am. But, turning off TV news so that I could really not have that negative influence entering my thoughts, entering my world, if you will. And it's out there. But you don't have to feed into it. You don't have to give it the energy. So that's important. And the moment you say it is the way it is, you're creating more of whatever it is. Think about that for a minute, right? The moment you say it is the way it is, you're creating more of whatever it is, right? Yeah, absolutely. Every single moment. I'm going to cue up some music for us here and just kind of play us into the top of the hour. And I'm going to get Frances in here and get her set up. And when I come back, you're going to have Frances on the air with us. We're going to have that. So stay tuned. Let me cue this up for you, and we'll get back to you straight away.
When the moon drives the tides, fear may till the day when you see your final sunset. Can you believe this is life? This is you. Can you believe this is life? This is you. This is you.
KXRN LP,
Laguna Beach.
member supported.
KXFM on 104.7.
KXFMradio.org.
Ikolo mo
Hey guys, I'm back. Wasn't that cool? That was just really some beautiful, beautiful tracks, couple of tracks that I played there. That last one was from my guest last week, Angie Hipple. She's so talented. She's such a beautiful singer. And it's really cool because she's really just kind of bringing in those frequencies as she's singing as well. And I think everybody can feel that. Hey, it's the top of the hour. Guess what? Frances is here. She's sitting right across from me. Frances, just give us a little hello just to make sure everything's working okay.
Hello, hello.
Yes, it is.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this is very cool. So I gave you a little bit of an introduction at the very beginning of my show, but again, Frances is a Laguna Beach local. She's been here pretty much all her life. All her life. She's born and bred here in Laguna Beach. And Frances, well, I'm going to let you tell your story, Frances, about kind of how you got to where you are today, because for those of us that have known you, I don't know that it was a surprise, but it certainly was a wow. What's Frances doing now? Oh, that's cool. So it's so funny for those of us that have decided to really share our story, our experiences, our light, help others find theirs, find their path. A lot of folks that know us, like even, for instance, even like my kids are like, well, Dad, not necessarily my thing, but I'm all in. I'm supporting you 100%, whatever you want to do. And it's not like I've decided to go to some some ashram somewhere in India, although that would be cool. But it's just integrating it into your life and what that looks like, right? So, first off, tell us a little bit about your practice and what you're doing for folks as a Reiki master and with tarot, and so just tell us a little bit about that, and then about your path.
Absolutely. So yes, as Rick mentioned, we very much me, but we were just talking about spiritual teams and spirit and God and universe and all the things. So I consider that very much a we. But and also, sorry, Rick, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Headphones is coming in and out. Let me just adjust there. Okay, there we go. So I am a Reiki master, as you mentioned. I share Reiki healing energy with people all over the world. And I do that via distance. I know a lot of that sounds very made up, but I promise it is very, very real, because energy is simply energy. The way that I describe that is, the way that you can love someone without having to hug them. You can love them whether they are across the globe, they have passed on, they haven't been born yet. That is the same way that Reiki works. So that is how I facilitate my Reiki healings. And then with tarot, that is also, I do that typically via distance. I'm hoping soon, maybe in the new year, to start doing in-person sessions again. But my very brief personal journey, I had a baby in the last year and a half. And so anyone who's had a child knows that life kind of gets flipped upside down. So we're still navigating, just getting our footing after that. So taking things one step at a time. But really, the word that you said, integrate, that is my biggest passion, is teaching people and helping facilitate that integration to whatever type of connection they feel, called towards, whether that's back to a religious belief, whether that is to God, source, energy, spirit as a whole, whether that's back to themselves, their highest selves, their purpose, when they feel stuck in life, which we all do, how to move through those blocks. Sometimes, during Reiki, we'll uncover kind of just like a little, I call them ickies, just like a little bit of an icky energy that's been, trapped in your energy. And sometimes it's really deep. It's inner child healing, or it's, past trauma, or a chakra that's been unbalanced for years and years and years. So we'll go in and help heal that. And then with tarot, it's really about receiving guidance. I do not do fortune telling with tarot. I think that there is a space for that. But for myself, I work with tarot in a way of connecting with spirit, specifically people's, what I call their spiritual teams, so angels and guides, and asking their questions, and then providing the guidance that their spiritual team is encouraging them to do moving forward. But ultimately for me, this is about, again, integration of whatever you want to call it, high frequency, love, light, and living in alignment with your highest good, which is different for every person. And then integrating that into the human experience. Because I think, especially, dare I say, in the new wave of spirituality or modern day spirituality, there's a lot of talk around ascend to the 5D or get to this higher state of consciousness. And I think that's great if we can bring it back down to earth, because we came here to be human. So we need to be human, in my opinion. So accessing these states of consciousness or receiving and all of that is so beautiful and so healing when we can apply it to the human form. So that's really my goal, is to help people define their purpose, move through any blocks that might be in their way, whether those are energetic, mental, or, physical things in their life, and really just help people live from a place of joy. Because as you were saying before, that's really the sweet spot in life. And obviously we all have challenges, but, and some of us have significantly more than others. And it is a privilege to be able to, even just manifest. We have the space to be like, okay, I am safe in my home. I can focus on my big dreams and my big goals. But I think, too, we overcomplicate it sometimes. And life is meant to be lived in joy if we are privileged enough to be in a space where we can do that. And I think many of us listening here, we are and accepting that blessing.
Right. Yeah, that's great. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
How did you... I know for me personally, there was a crisis point in my life. I went through a divorce, and 20 years ago, and that really shook my world. And in shaking my world, that really opened me up to saying and questioning, like, there's got to be more than this. And it's almost as if the universe says, okay, you gave us a little opening, and you know what? We're coming in. And what I found is once you've started that path, when you realize that there is more, and you start to have that understanding, there's no going back at that point. You can't just reel it back in and go, well, no, thank you, Source, thank you, God, but I don't want any more. I'm going to close the door. If you try, somehow it continues to come back in, right? So that kind of got it started for me. For you, was it just a natural path for you? Was it something that you've always thought about, or how did that take place?
Yeah, so I'll try to keep it brief because it is many, many, many years in the making. But I guess the long and short of it is these little micro moments of, hey, you're not happy. Hey, this isn't right. Hey, this isn't right. And then I'll share more in a moment, but I had like one really large traumatic experience, which again, I'll share in a sec. And then I was like, okay, Frances, as you said, like, you can't ignore it. Once it starts, once the curiosity is there, once the questions are there, I always say, God speaks in a whisper until he has to scream. And I experienced my God scream. It was very scary. I was traveling abroad with a girlfriend, and we were in London. We were staying in my aunt's best friend's apartment in this really beautiful area. I knew something was off the whole time, but I couldn't quite pinpoint what it was. And then, someone ended up breaking into the apartment when we were in there, and we had to run and escape and get out. And I just remember while we were running, I had this, like, obviously one track of my mind being like, okay, get away, survive. And then I had this other track of my mind, and I remember in therapy afterwards, because I was like, I am not going to have PTSD. So I got myself in therapy, and I did a bunch of EMDR therapy, which is like PTSD therapy. And but I remember this track in my brain saying, this is supposed to be happening. This is supposed to be happening. This is supposed to be happening. And after the fact, I was like, are you kidding me? What do you mean that was supposed to be happening? Like, why did I have to go through this literally life-threatening situation in order to wake me up? And now I understand that my lesson there was you cannot ignore your intuition, because the whole time that I was there, I knew something was wrong. My body was responding. I was having these like breakdowns of tears. I'm like in my mid-20s calling my parents, I want to come home. And they're like, this is weird. And I'm like, I know, but I don't know what's going on. We had the opportunity to switch where we were staying, but I didn't want to put my friend out. So I just stayed. And then this thing happened, and we were so protected within it. You know, the only thing that happened was my girlfriend lost one of her beautiful bags. But besides that, you know, we were so safe, and it really, that was kind of what catapulted me into this journey. But before that, you know, the God whispers that I had kind of been listening to, kind of been ignoring. Again, long story short, I was, until preschool to 8th grade, I went to a very religious school. So religion was, there was a lot of fear in that. It was like, this is good, this is bad, this is heaven, this is hell. And I always had questions because there was so much about it that I didn't understand. For example, you know, like Jesus says, love everyone, but then you're also telling me don't love these people. And I was like, wait, like, I don't think that's what Jesus would say, but I couldn't really ask those questions in school. Luckily at home, we could have those conversations. But yeah, so I just always had questions. I was really pushed away from God because I just didn't understand. It didn't make sense to me. And then I went to college, graduated, and then I started working. And after about a day, I was in marketing, and I was like, hey, this is not the thing. But I was 22, and you know, I was just trying to figure it out and make it work and do what I was supposed to be doing. And eventually I ended up just getting so burnt out, so sick. And I was just looking for anything to kind of fill the void. And so after work, I did an online health coach program, and that was like a little bit closer, not quite it. But then that led me, I'd always been a dancer. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll do my yoga teacher certification. So I did that. That really actually exposed me to a lot more. Just, we studied a lot about yoga philosophy and the sutras. And that was the first time I had ever been exposed to something that wasn't, you know, traditional religion with, you know, these really like intense rules. And I also want to preface, I love religion. If you have a great relationship with religion, whatever that is for you, fantastic. But for me, it was just very confusing. And then after my yoga certification, then we got crystals as a gift when we graduated. So then I started exploring crystals, and then I started exploring energy, and then I was introduced to Reiki, and then I was introduced to tarot. And then I was like, oh, maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll do this. And then after that experience overseas, I was like, you know what? Something's got to change. And so I started, it wasn't a business then. That's why I hesitate. I started something, whatever it was. You know, I was offering health coaching at the time, and then like yoga privates and kind of a mix of everything. And then I was, as mentioned, I was a dancer. So I taught ballet on the side to little kids, which was my favorite thing ever. And then I was just remembering, I was praying and speaking on manifestation, like holding the vision that one day serving people with Reiki and tarot would be my, like I could fulfill that soul purpose and have that support me financially in this human form. And then at the end of December 2020, I was like, oh my God, I don't think I can do all of this anymore. And I ended up putting in my notice at the ballet school, which was heartbreaking because I loved it, but there was just not enough of me. And then I've been full-time with this ever since.
Yeah.
So that was a long story, but here we are.
No, that's great. And I appreciate you sharing that. And that just, you know, I think, I think you get to that point where either you're in or you're out, right? And I've had some of my mentors, you know, say to me, and not necessarily even directly, but just in message, that, you know, Rick, there is only plan A. If you have a plan B, it pretty much negates plan A, because the universe is going to go, well, we're confused. Do you want this one or do you want that one? So it's almost like, and I've had these messages as well, and even visions where it's the message was, it's okay to burn your bridges. It really is. It's okay, because it's almost a cleansing of that past, and it's once you're committed, I think then it's delivered. Once you're committed, then things just, people, resources, circumstances all start to happen, right, into your life. And I think you've found that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree. It's an example I give to my clients or my students, depending the capacity we're working in, is actually, a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm kind of manifesting this, or I'm kind of co-creating this and this and this. And I'm like, okay. And then they're like, but what does God want me to do? What does Spirit want me to do? And I'm like, well, you got to tell them. Like there is the path, right? It's like your highest path, but that's also part of our own self-discovery, is being so true to ourselves that we can actually hear that and listen to that and know that we are worthy of creating that in alignment with, source energy. And the example I always give is, if you're going to a drive-through and you are sitting there at the order window and you don't place an order, and then you go to the pickup window and they hand you, let's just say, a cheeseburger, and then you're like, oh, well, I'm a vegetarian. And they're like, well, you didn't place your order, so we just gave you our most popular item. We tried to fulfill something for you. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, I can't eat this. Now, gosh, what a waste of time, energy, money, et cetera. It's like, we got to go to the order window, define what we want, because that's actually the most critical part of it, is understanding, and maybe not every single tiny little piece of it, but at least, the other thing I've learned with myself is it's not so much the what you want, it's the how you want to feel. And that will oftentimes fill in those gaps of the what. So I want to feel, peaceful daily. Okay, well, how's your job making you feel? Because if that's not bringing you peace or purpose or joy or whatever the feeling is, something's got to change there to then, as you said, we got to cut that and we got to make space for whatever the new thing is. But we have to be so clear on at least the feeling, so that then, we're placing our order and Spirit can get to work alongside our efforts to be like, okay, now here you go. Okay, let me clear this path. Okay, let me, get this person to be at the coffee shop when you're at the coffee shop, so you guys can have the chat while you're waiting for your latte or whatever it may be. So I think that's often a missed point, is like, yeah, what is the path? And we define that. Right. We don't, most of the time, wait for it to come. We have to guide that to begin with, because we are just extensions of God too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. We're just fractals. We're like, one of my mentor teachers explains it in a way that it's like, he said, think of an octopus and think of the octopus tentacles. God's source is the octopus. You're one of those tentacles, and there's billions and billions and billions and billions, right? But you're one of those, and it's okay. That's kind of a weird analogy, but I get it. Totally. Visually, I totally get that, and you're absolutely right. And I think this leads us into kind of my main topic today, which is manifestation, and really how you manifest in your life, right? And I was talking earlier about, we're manifesting whether we want to or not every single moment. Every thought we have, we're driving down the road, we're manifesting constantly. And so the question to ask ourselves is, can we have a little more control over that manifestation? Well, the answer is yes, you can. And, you said it when you talked about feeling, right? About how you're feeling about anything at any given moment. And also about asking for what you want, not waiting for someone else to tell you, or even Spirit to tell you, or God, or Source, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, and I mentioned this earlier, that you put out a video not too long ago, just the past several days, right, on manifestation and kind of, I think there's parts of manifestation that you're going, wait a minute, guys, time out. Let's talk about the realities here. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I mentioned before, and if you could see me, I'm air quoting because I want to be respectful of it, because I think this idea of New Age spirituality is beautiful. I mean, there's so many of us waking up all over the planet. I think we're going to have, 2020 was one kind of big like aha, and then I think we're going to have more over the next, 5 to 10 years. With that, we have to be really mindful and discerning of what information we're allowing into our lives, be that from social media, be that from TV, be that from, whatever it may be. And I've been seeing a lot on social media lately, this idea of just hold the vision, be in the energy, and it will come. And I think there is value to that. We do have to hold the energy of what we want to be in, because Rick and I were talking about this, before we got started. Universe says yes, right? So if you are sitting there and you're like, I can't, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. The universe is going to go, okay, we can't do this. So there is that piece where you have to go, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I am worthy of this, I am this, like just I am whatever the feeling or the thing or the identity is. And so number one, you're starting to reframe your brain like, oh wait, this is a possibility. Let me get out of my own way and start going towards this. But number two, you're starting to work with those really subtle energies, yet very powerful energies of the universe, where they're like, okay, yes, I am this, you are this, you are this. So I think there is value in that. However, I also think that there is a huge misconception that that's the only thing we have to do. And quite honestly, I love the word manifestation in its truest sense, but because of all of this that I've been seeing out there, I actually use the word co-creation now, because that feels more aligned to me, and it is you and universe, spirit, God, source. We have to participate in what we're creating. The best example that I give of this to kind of visualize it, let's say you're someone and you're looking for your life partner. Okay, so you're like, I really just want to like meet my person. Okay, well, have you made the profile on whatever chosen app? Are you going out? Are you talking to people? Have you told your friends and family that you're available? Like, what are you doing? Because if you're just at home sitting on the couch, unless you, and this could totally happen, but unless you're going to fall in love with your Amazon delivery or the mailman or woman or, your Postmates person, you're not going to meet anybody, right? So it's like we have to also participate in what we are creating, number one, by existing in the energy, holding the vision. But to me, that also is mindset, as mentioned, getting out of your own way, being like, wait a second, I can do this. And then once you're in that energy and you know what's possible for you, and there's actually been studies on this. Athletes do this a lot, where they'll visualize, scoring the basket or scoring the goal or whatever. And they say that it really helps them. So there is actually that like mental piece to it. But with it as well, again, frequency wise, energy wise, I really believe that it comes back to worth as well, where it's like, I am worthy of this. Okay, now God is like, that was also part of your lesson, right? You had to know that you could do this. You get to work, and I'm going to actually come and match your energy there. And kind of my big takeaway that I've learned in my own practice is do every single thing you can do in the moment. Obviously not all at once, make your list, and don't be afraid to get a little bit logistic about it and figure out, the steps or the recipe or the path. Do everything you can do. And then that's when we surrender it and we give it to God and we go, okay, now it's your turn. So that's where I'm at with manifestation, co-creation.
Really, that's it. That's all there is. I've had people ask me and say, so, okay, great, Rick, but why is it so hard? Why doesn't God or universe or whatever just give us, just give it all to us? Just why do we have to go through any of this? What's the point of it? And I that's a long thing, but the reality is, we were put here in human form. And I've believed this for a long, long time, probably even before I started my journey, is, we have been put here in human form to experience. Mm-hmm. As spirit, if someone can imagine what spirit would be like, just this light and joy and love, but there's really no experience. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, okay. There are moments in my day where I would go, oh, yeah, let me just do that. Let me just be that, right? But we're put here to have all of these experiences, to have love and anger and upset and tragedy and all of that, because it's interesting. And I know how hard it is to think, why does God allow stuff? And that's a really hard conversation. It's a whole different conversation. But I think as when we're talking about manifestation, why does it have to be so hard? And my answer usually to people is, it isn't. It really isn't. And it's you that makes it harder. But to their defense, those of us that understand the path and want to share our light, we have the obligation to be able to help people know what their blockages are, whether it's self-worth, whether it's childhood traumas, whatever it is, whatever that block is that's not allowing manifestation in, right? So, and I know, again, you do a lot with that. A lot of what you're doing with the Reiki side of what you're doing certainly addresses that, right?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, and I think too, there's also a patience piece. I call it Amazon Prime mentality. Now we have same day delivery, guys. It's like, I know I'm, relatively young, but at the same time, I was alive when we couldn't even order things online, really, and now we're so used to this. Literally, it used to be 2-day delivery, and now we have same-day delivery. And when we apply that to our brain gets confused, and we're like, oh, that's got to be everything. And it's like, oh my gosh, how can we expect God or source or whatever your favorite word for that light is to come in and completely change your life with same-day delivery, right? We have to give it grace and patience, and ourself grace and patience as well, to put in that work. And remember, this isn't also just about creating something for yourself or achieving the goal or calling something in. You are an ever evolving being, so you are going to change through each manifestation as well. We better hope that takes time, because if we're suddenly, boom, a different person in an hour, that's going to be really shocking to our system, to our lives, to our social relationships, all of these different things. And I think a lot of people, as they're going in their spiritual journeys and their awakening journeys as well, there's a lot of that, even to your point where you were saying in the beginning, like, ooh, what's Frances doing? And I remember in the beginning, everyone was like, this girl is live channeling, is she okay? And now they're like, oh, that's Frances. I think, okay, because we just have to kind of keep showing up in it. But I think that's the one piece, is giving yourself patience. And then the other part of it as well is, manifestation and co-creation. We are fulfilling part of our soul's purpose in that. So when you're talking about essentially Earth School, right? We come to Earth School to learn our lessons and go through the ups and downs, and what a blessing that is, and a challenge. But typically, it's my belief that what we are called to co-create, either becoming that version of ourselves and or the challenges in becoming that version of ourselves, are part of our soul contract of what we came here to learn. And so if we're skipping over these challenges and we're like, actually, I'm not going to do it because this is too hard. Of course, there are some parts where we're like, okay, you know what? This is really not working. Let's readjust the path. Or is this still something I want? Or is this an ego thing that I'm trying to prove? We have to do those check-ins if things aren't flowing. But for the most part, our challenges aren't here to stop us. They're here to force us to turn inward and be like, hey, something needs to either be released or shifted or learned here. Because again, it's not just, oh, we're creating this thing because I want this thing. We are literally evolving as a human and as a soul. And if you believe in past lives, future lives, that's also going to help heal our past lives, get us ready for the next one. Or if we are in complete ascension, whatever it is going to be like when we're, just spirit and soul and aren't going through the ups and downs of what it is to be human. So I always like to remind myself truly of that as well, where I'm like, hey, Frances, I know you want it right now, but there's a reason you don't have it right now. That's where a lot of that trust comes in too, where I'm like, I also have to believe in divine timing. This is my ego space that wants it to be done really, really fast. But there's a reason that the timing is going to be the timing. Slow down, trust it, and learn the lessons. And it's probably going to be really uncomfortable, but so worth it at the end.
Isn't a part of it as well just kind of embracing what you're saying is that there's going to be ups and downs, that there's going to be some challenges, but just embracing that. Just go, yeah, bring it on, universe, bring it on, God. And most of us we don't approach it that way. We're just going, we're fearful of it. We're, I don't want that to happen, type thing. And I think that attitude of just say, bring it on, just bring it on. That's great. I think for me, the universe has a sense of humor,
Totally.
right?
Yes.
And and I think that they would find it very amusing for someone to just say, "Bring it on." You know, they would go, "Oh, okay, well, this is cool. That's a great attitude. That's exactly the attitude we want you to have. We just didn't know how to tell you that, right? Bring it on." But I think it's part of it is the allowing into your life, really what amounts to be the goodness, right? Allowing that goodness, and again, we have these blocks, we have these barriers that have to be addressed. They can't be pushed aside or ignored as much as we want to do that or think we have the ability to do that. We don't. They're meant to be. They're meant to be addressed, right? They're meant to be not challenged, but they're just meant to be released. Ultimately, dealt with and released, and that's a process. And it doesn't have to be. I mean, you know, for me, it's been 20 years, but it's been 20 years because I've made it 20 years, and probably from your great point about divine timing, it's exactly the way it was supposed to be, Rick. 20 years, yes, that's got you to your point now. Because I say, well, why can't I be like Frances and be in my late 20s and be doing this? Wouldn't that be cool? Well, you know what? That wasn't your deal.
31 now, Rick.
Oh my gosh.
Time flies, right?
Wow. Okay.
Not that matters at all.
No, but thank you for sharing that. You're right. It's crazy how time flies. Talking about social media, and we all get, our little memories pop up every now and then, whether it's Google Photos or it's, Facebook or whatever. And it just blows my mind sometimes when you look at that and you go, no, that wasn't 7 years ago, right? And so it's just, it's amazing.
I do feel that, even in a more, spiritual sense or vibrational sense, this is a whole nother topic, but I do feel like time is speeding up. I can't say for certain in terms of like actually what's happening, but I think the way that we're experiencing it is just happening so rapidly compared to,
absolutely,
what I remember. I mean, I don't know if that's just a part of getting older, but like, I just feel like it's going so fast. So
yeah, totally.
Another topic, but
it is, but it's a good topic. We've got a couple of little spots I need to play right now, and then we're going to be right back with Frances. Frances, you can stay for a little bit longer?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So we'll be right back after this little tiny break. We're going to bring in Dave Murray to tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening with the weather.
KXFM business member T.N. Turmeric, located at 1175 South Coast Highway, right next to the Sandpiper, can now also be found at the Farmers Market, opening up another opportunity to check out their spices, olive oils, wide variety of wellness products, as well as loose teas, gourmet gifts, and authentic Indian spices and teas made from treasured family recipes. Tea and Turmeric is open 7 days a week from 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Their number is 949-715-9600. Tea and Turmeric.
Hi, this is KXFM meteorologist Dave Murray. The mid-October feel continues to be locked in. It feels pretty good out there, though it's a little chilly during the morning hours. Clouds giving way to sunshine and a great afternoon on tap. 68 at the beach, 69 the mountaintop, the canyon 68. Tonight, lots of clouds and it's chilly. 58. Now, a little low-pressure system is going to come squirting by Thursday night, and Friday. There's not a lot with this thing, but we could see a couple of spotty showers from time to time. So Thursday, clouds control. It's cool with some spotty sprinkles, maybe a light shower. 65 for the high. Thursday night, a couple of spotty showers here and there, 57. And Friday, some early showers. Then sunshine comes back and 67. That's my forecast. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray. Tune in, turn on to KXFM 104.7 Laguna's Community Radio.
Well, thank you, Dave, for bringing that. There'll be a few showers. I was kind of like surprised with that, but whatever. That's cool. I'm actually looking forward to the rain and the rain coming and cleaning things out and getting the dust off of everything. It's going to be great and it's going to be wonderful. We are back with Wake Up Laguna, KXFM. My guest, Frances Naude, is here with us. She's been sharing just some great thoughts and ideas behind manifestation and many other things for that matter. So I'm loving the time that we have with her, and I want to continue to ask a couple of questions. And Frances, as it relates to manifestation, what do you think the keys to manifestation co-creation are for someone to say, okay, how do I really take more control of this in my life? What should I be doing?
Amazing question. So number one, just what I've learned with working with people and myself, self-worth is really important, i.e. believing that you deserve it and believing that you can have it. So many of us have so much programming, whether it's societal or from school or, we don't even realize, but oftentimes we're living these stories that other people have written for us and they're not true at all. So it's so important that we're checking in and being like, okay, even like, what are these subconscious thoughts or my inner critic or whatever else is going on in my mind, in my energy, that's getting in my own way and stopping me. That's where I really love mantra work and affirmations, just to be like, and it feels so weird in the beginning when you start doing that. It feels like you're lying to yourself. It feels so silly. But the more you do it, you really start to repattern. So I think that's like my number one tip for working with self-worth. Obviously, if you're really struggling, I would say speak to a therapist, a healer, whoever it is, your best friend, your mom, God, like trying to understand what's going on there. But I think that's number one. And then number two really is clarity. We need to know what it is we want and, or as mentioned, how we want to feel. And I think a lot of people really do get caught up in the, I don't know what I want, or I kind of know. And then we also often think that it's like, I need to want the thing, right? So I need to want the house, or I need to want the job, or I need to want the partner, I need to want the dollar amount in my bank. And I think that type of clarity is really great. But again, how you want to feel, that has to come first. So a lot of times when people are trying to manifest money, they're actually trying to manifest safety and security. And so I'm like, okay, what can we do to begin there? And then that brings me to part three, is existing in the energy that you want to be in. So let's actually use that money example. Let's say that you learn, actually, I want safety and security, and I'd like some freedom in my life, right? To book the vacation, to go out to eat and not worry about it, whatever it is. Okay, so ultimately, you want safety and freedom. So let's look at those topics in life. Number one, do you lock your doors at night? Right? That's such a weird thing, but that is safety. Do you put your seatbelt on? Are you texting while you're driving? That's not safe. Are we, like, where can we look at safety in our life and ensure that we're, not over obsessing about it, but just making sure that we are, again, existing in that energy. Then let's look at freedom. Okay. Are you calling your friends to hang out? Are you going for that nature walk? Are you jumping in the water even though it's a little chilly and you're going to feel so good afterwards, or whatever it is? Okay, how can I start to get more freedom into my life? Then once we're existing in those energies, it becomes a lot, I don't want to say easier, but more accessible and more believable to ourselves that we can actually have that in other areas. And going back to what we were talking about with Universe Says Yes, that's where you start to be a magnet for that. Now, money is a tricky one. This is a whole nother multi-hour conversation, but money really is energy. So with that too, then comes number 4, which is trust. And this is in anything, whether it's financial or a feeling or a goal, trusting that, number 1, I can, so going back to self-worth, but number 2, that you're going to be supported in that. So I think those are my key tips. I do have what I call the 4 Ds of manifestation. So they are decide, declare, deploy, divine. So decide, what do you want? Declare, we got to say it out loud, because if you don't say it, how can we expect to create it, right? So even if it's just starting to say it to yourself, but if you can, there are 2 schools of thought on, do you share what you're manifesting with other people? My thought is yes, but only with people who are going to celebrate you. So if someone's like, oh, Frances, seriously? Like, that's never going to happen. Maybe wait to share with that person. But someone who's going to be like, oh my God, that's amazing. I'm so excited. Let me know how I can support you. Share it with that person. So that's decide, declare, deploy. That's our action steps. You got to do something. We can't just sit there. And then divine. Once we've done the first 3, divine, we let God, Spirit, Source come in. Hands off. You show me the way. Maybe there's something else we can do, and that you're going to show me, or that pops up in my path. But that's kind of my little trick, the 4 Ds of manifestation. So feel free to adopt that.
No, it's going to show up on my website tomorrow. As a matter of fact, my web designer, my marketing partner, and my publicist are listening in right now, and that would be Leslie, who says hi.
Hi, Leslie.
So, and she asked specifically that you do something for me, and that's take a couple of pics of me on the board talking. So she can obviously use those. So if you can do that.
I got you, Leslie. I already have a really cute one of Rick from the back with the KXFM surfboard and him recording. So I'll send them to you.
Awesome. So that's perfect. So that would be great. No, I love the 4Ds. I think you're absolutely right on with creating that focus. That's the co-creation part. And I think that last D, which is really letting go.
Yes.
Just, and there's a lot of different phrases for that, but let go, let God is one of them. I think that's perfect. And again, it's I think a lot of people feel like, okay, I want to make $20,000 in the next month. And then they try to start, and here's how I'm going to do it. And it's like, you need to let that go. You put it out there. Mm-hmm. That's cool. That's great. Mm-hmm. Now you need to believe, you need to trust, and you need to let go. And then you need to see what comes in. To your point, we need to take action, but to me, it has to be guided action. It has to be, for me, it's kind of intuitive. I'll use the word intuitive rather than spirit, although really it is spirit. But it's intuitive action. It's just, what are you feeling you should be doing in this moment to move yourself closer to that 20 grand or whatever it is, right? Or finding that perfect partner. What do you need to do? You need to take some steps. But you don't necessarily need to say, all right, I'm going to figure it out exactly what I need to do, right? Because I think that's where people get into trouble.
Yes, and I think as well, to your point, Rick, like, what else might this look like, right? So you said let go, let God. I did a little experiment with myself. For any other overthinkers out there, my favorite way to get out of my own way is I'm going to just do this experiment with myself for a week and see what happens. And it kind of helps you just not feel like you're changing too much at once. But it also allows you to tap into different experiences and energies. And so I did this experiment. And it was a let go, let God week, 100%, like 100% let go, let God. I'm not doing anything. I'm existing in the energy. I'm holding the vision. Now, of course, I'm still living my life, etc. But it was a cool experiment. And the reason I'm thinking of this is because part of it was around abundance. And when I say abundance, we often think of financial abundance. Mine was around financial abundance, but other things as well. When we think, I want the 20K, how might spirit, source, energy also be supporting you in abundance? For me, that week, I cannot tell you the amount of free stuff I got. Like, someone bought me a coffee, someone made me breakfast when I was supposed to buy breakfast. Like, all of these little things, some of them I don't want to share because they're other people's businesses that they gifted me things. And so I don't want to, make other people be like, well, wait, give me that. But I literally, at the end of the week, I was like, I think I've probably not spent $500+ that I would have spent. And while that's not 20K, that's still receiving abundance in different ways. And so I think that goes to the let go part as well, where you're like, oh, maybe I thought it would be this, but actually it's this. And accepting that as well. How easy is it? Someone says, oh, let me buy you a coffee. You're like, no. Can we just challenge ourselves to be like, thank you so much. That's so generous. And just accepting the way that it's going to come instead of the way we think it has to be.
Absolutely. And that's so well put. Wow. Well, this has been fantastic and fun and awesome and inspiring. And I'm so, so happy that you were able to make it. You were going to be my first guest, but I didn't hear back from you in time, so you became my second guest, but that's okay.
Thank you. I am so honored to be your second guest, and it sounds like you had, I listened to last week's show. Fantastic. Yeah. So I am so grateful to be here, and it was so wonderful to catch up. And in this capacity, Rick, we've known each other for years in so many other ways, and this is so great to chat about.
Well, and I feel like, yeah, I mean, obviously we've had that connection, but now I feel kind of a different connection with you. I feel this, oh,
I see you.
I see, I really see you. Yeah, exactly.
You see me.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, let me, I'm going to put something on and we'll get you out and, but you and I can chat a little bit here. But I'll be right back with the rest of the show and wrap things up for you. But it's been great. Thank you again so much, Frances.
Thank you.
We're going to be manifesting this week. I know it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Om Shanti, Shanti, peace. Judah Mama set us free. Every soul now shifting into perfect peace. Breaking down into divinity. Get off the chain. Into perfect getting off the chain. Breaking those chains, breaking those chains. Urudia fiorotondo, ivororandi ondaunde ondi shundai. Get off the chain gang, get off the chain gang, get off the chain gang. Breaking those chains, breaking those chains. Om Shanti, Shanti, peace. Sweet Lord Judah set us free. Every soul now shifting happily into perfect peace, into divinity, into perfect peace, into divinity. Om Shanti, Shanti, peace. Sweet Lord Judah set us free. Every soul now shifting happily into perfect peace, into divinity, into perfect peace, into divinity. Om Shanti, Shanti, peace. Sweet Lord Jesus set us free. Every soul now shifting happily into perfect peace, into divinity, into perfect peace, into divinity. Morning joy, coming in the morning joy, coming in the morning, coming in the morning. New day.
That was so special having Frances in. I really, really enjoyed that. I hope you did as well. And I got so much from that myself. It's just great. And, it's interesting. And, Frances obviously put it out there. She's 31 years old. I'm a little bit older than that. And so to have that perspective, some of us are old souls. And I really think Frances is an old soul and in this, 31-year-old young woman's body. But that was great. I really, really appreciated what she had to share with us and the way that she shared it and the really the wisdom that she provided as well. So I've got about 10 minutes left in my show. I want to bring someone else in quickly. And I had Katie Horton last week on. When I say on, I mean one of her audios. And it was a transmission meditation. I'm going to do the same thing, and this one is on abundance and manifesting. I thought it would be appropriate, but also know that I'm going to have Katie Horton on live on my show next week. I'm super excited about having Katie on. Again, a young woman in an old soul in a young woman's body is what Katie is. So it will be amazing. I'm really looking forward to having her on the show with us. But let me play this bit for you. And again, if you're in a safe space, get comfortable, close your eyes, really let this wrap itself around you, and feel it. So let's get Katie on here.
Hello. So just tuning into your body, starting to take deep, slow breaths into your belly, really expanding your stomach when you breathe. And almost imagining that there's this golden, gooey energy seeping from your crown chakra, all the way down through your heart, through your stomach, all the way down to your root, and almost like it's bringing a cord down into the earth with this powerful, powerful energy. The energy of abundance. It's anchoring you down into the earth. And you can just keep imagining this as we go throughout this transmission, knowing that you are anchored in the frequency of wealth. Santa kia mbia koro santo we ampokoya samuana kia te shikia nea we amokoya we takia sintia mokoa saya we antaki sate kia antia mokoa we takia shintia mikoya satia we apokoya satia kua. Abundance is your natural frequency. What I'm hearing is that when you remember that this golden light is you, this golden light, this golden gooey energy is the energy of abundance, of wealth. You are already encoded in it. I am just reminding you of it. Santaya meatia shakiantio koya santia pokoya weata kia santia nea kaya tadentikoya mopia weata ki. Ayantia mora wa satia antia kiantia we ampokoya satia te shakiantia mokoya we. Shantia antia moro we antia we. See your light, see that you are a powerful light and you are here on a grander purpose on this earth, and that light that you are emitting is the essence of abundance. This is already who you are at your core. You deserve wealth, you deserve money. Everyone in this world deserves whatever amount of money that they want, whatever amount of abundance, prosperity. It is your birthright. Antaya moroso e antia shati antia mokoya satiam biko santia we apokoya santia we. Antashi, be open to receiving, be open to being receptive and to letting go of what no longer serves you. Whatever fear paradigms you've been living in, whatever limiting beliefs around money, around prosperity that you have that have limited you, be open to letting them go. I want you to imagine that there is this powerful, almost like bubble of dark energy in your body, and you can imagine that this bubble is being sent down through your root and plugged into the earth, and as it goes down into the earth, it turns into more of that golden light. And that is just that fear entity, that fear, lack, poverty mindset leaving your body and anchoring down into the earth, turning itself into wealth. Shontoke antiamo ko satiantia ki antiamo ko awe antakia shantiamo rosawe ayantia rosoe ampuko santia shiki natakia ko awe Ay antia moro e andia andia e shutokia suawe antia we aki antia moro so e antia shantia moko satia shiki antia mokia we antaki antia moro e antia. You are a goddess or a god. If you are listening and you are man, woman, I'm seeing you have the frequency, as we all do, of God, of a goddess. You are this powerful light. There is nothing that can stop you. You already are this powerful, vibrant king, queen energy within you. It's just reminding yourself of that and remembering and reclaiming that you are a king. You are a queen. And no one can take that from you. Shantaki antia mokoro soyantia shatiandia ya sandia mokoya takia satia satia atishi antia mokoro sayantakia mokoro satia shikante mokoya we antakia we amako satia shintia mokoya satia shikiantia mokoya we atiki andia rasayo aki takia rakia we ani amorosa amayorso. It is time. It is time to reclaim your power. I'm hearing it's time to step into this wealth frequency. Whatever old paradigms you've been living in that have limited that mindset and that have told you, whether it's people, whether it's beings, whether it's your own limiting beliefs, telling you that you don't deserve the life that you want, that is full of this abundance, full of this prosperity, let it go. Let it go. Set the intention to let it go now. You are stepping into a higher timeline. I want you to visualize that there is this golden gate in front of you. And as you walk up to this golden gate, you're going to open up the door slowly. And as you open it, I want you to start to see the life where you are prosperous, you are wealthy, and you are abundant. So you're going to open up this door. There's going to be golden light behind this door. And within this golden light is every scenario, every opportunity, every experience that you've ever desired playing itself out as if it's happening in the now. So visualize that. For the next couple of minutes, I want you to really tune into that energy, feel that energy of the abundance frequency, of the wealth, of having that prosperous life. Your dream life, it's already yours right now. I need you to tap into that and feel that.
I'm going to fade Katie out. That was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I hope that you really took that in. It's just a beautiful, beautiful message that Katie delivers, no question about it. And I'm going to wrap it up today. It's been fantastic as always here on Wake Up Laguna. Love being with you guys. Love sharing my experiences, my thoughts on spiritual journey, and hopefully something that was said today spoke to you, spoke to your heart. Having Frances on was a real treat. She's got so much wisdom. Really loved having her on. So that was just awesome. So. Everybody, I want you to have a great rest of your week. Be kind to one another, love one another, and I will see you again, as always, next Wednesday morning right here on KXFM at 7 a.m. Have a great rest of your week.